Council meetings are long and boring. Wouldn't it be great if they were short and not boring? This is why I have invented the 5 minute 10 minute. Coming to you live from the Ashland Community Center. Is it open? It is not. Am I paying for this part here? I am not. Rogue. I went rogue. But this part, no cost recovery happening right here, right now. But soft opening, I call it that. Ashland City Council meeting, December 2nd. The mayor, she goes, hey, Ashland City Sisters Svartutsk, their movement is raising funds with a concert on December 14th from 2 to 4:30 at the high school. And I looked it up and it's $20. And then the consent agenda came along and this guy goes, I pull everything. I pull it all from the consent agenda. They pulled it all, and so she goes, oh, that goes end of the meeting then. You know, all right. And then public forum. There's a frizzy-haired guy that says, my family loves beekeeping and spraying glyphosate on the rocks is unacceptable. And then a suspenders guy says, my buddy sprayed Roundup for 15 years and died of lymphoma. And a large man said, spraying glyphosate, that stuff went into the parade route and poisons children. I'll file a lawsuit against all you all. He was angry. And then the sweater girl says, I live near the rocks. Please stop spraying. Sorry about that. And then a 5G guy, of course, says, I'm still pissed about how you didn't do the budget right. Of course she is. And then the Bellevue Grange lady said, I represent the Grange, and we are against this spray. And a brown shirt guy said, my beekeeping hives near there have had dead bees. I thought Ashland was environmentally friendly. And then a hat lady said, I have a special gene that makes me super sensitive to chemicals. And a woke cap lady said, spraying's inappropriate, change your codes. And then what, surprise? Code changes up next. City Attorney Johan Piatelli, this guy. He says he's removing a bunch of redundant language. So removing electric payment language, fee setting language, tobacco license language, electric fee posting language, energy language, change all this language, all approved. And then he actually has said rightly that I declare this to be the most boring council item in recent history. For a man with a bun, he's pretty self-aware, this guy. And that was all approved. And then a liquor license was renewed. That was all approved. And then this guy goes, I want to change the word marijuana in all city language to cannabis because it's plant medicine, man, not some kind of drug. And then I'm like, all right. And this guy goes, the state calls it marijuana tax. So if we just change the state, if we change that, maybe we just don't get the marijuana tax money. And Johan, the attorney, Piatelli, says, oh, that's a good point, actually. Good point. And this guy goes, how about we just do some check-in before we just go changing it? And this one, she says, you know what? Let's change all the language the city uses to cannabis, but all the language you use as the state will stay as marijuana. Well, is that a terrible and confusing idea? And no decision on that tonight, thankfully. And then there's the second reading of the Grand Terrace project. They're going to build that in, and who is it? Brandon Goldman. Brandon Goldman, yeah, Planning King. He says, that's just the second reading. It's all approved. And then Public Works boss, Public Works guy, Scott Fleury, got the big beard, right? He says that 880 acres of Imperatives property across the freeway was for wastewater spraying, but now it just sits there because we didn't do that, and so we want to sell it. And this is a pre-public meeting, so no public comment necessary. Just want to hear if the council wants to sell it or not to sell. That's it. And this guy goes, hey, how much were we talking about? How much money were we talking about there? And the guy goes, oh, what's that? Like 3.8 million? But we probably want to split it up. And of course, he goes, where's this money go for the sales? Is it like mountain bike trails probably? And then this guy goes, well, it was bought with wastewater money, so it goes back to the wastewater fund. And then the Southern Oregon Land Conservancy guy showed up and said, we always wanted the top part of this property, but, getting the lower part would be great too. And he goes, would you guys build mountain bike trails? And then he goes, well, we do Orson Todd. We manage that thing. So it's like, we got mixed use. We do that. And this guy goes, I moved to get rid of this property somehow, somewhere to be determined at the next round. And that was all approved. And then there was a break. And then I came back from break, and the consent agenda Ivan pulled earlier by this guy says, he goes, adding sandwich boards downtown was revolutionary. No one thought we could do it. Well, we did it. That's right. the easiest technology ever. Sandwich boards. Solar guy was weirdly gobsmacked by sandwich boards. The extension was all approved. And then the AFN guy, Chad, he doesn't get a picture. He gets my hand. That's what he gets. He gets, we need 1.1 million for a node upgrade. And this one says, she goes, well, as long as, this looks like it's within the budget. And I like that. And the AFN guy says, yeah, AFN is cash flow positive. So good for them. And that was, application was all approved. And then the 380 Clay Street. It's the old white haunted house surrounded by chain link fence. It's been there for a while. And this one, this was Assistant City Manager Jordan Rooklyn. She's in charge of this. She goes, it appraised for $250 that lot, and a developer wants to buy it from us and build housing. And it's 0.32 acres. I think the same real estate geniuses from the firm Buy High, Sell Low, or apparently they're the ones who said $2 million for the 2200 Ashland Street. Yes, let's sell this thing for $250,000. That sounds like a good idea. And then this Brandon Goldman, the planning guy, goes, it's somewhere between 6 and 8 units can be jammed in there. That's pretty good. And this guy goes, oh, that cottonwood tree is a big deal about this property. What tree protection rules are there? And this guy goes, yeah, well, we had an arborist who said save the tree, and one arborist in 2009 who said, no, the tree's a danger, so we just did nothing. Classic. And so then this guy goes, the attorney city tree, Johan Patatow. Patatow said, that tree has to stay because it's part of the deal to build all of that Snowberry Brook property development was predicated on this tree stays. So that's part of that whole deal. And so then this guy goes, well, I moved to sell this property somehow, probably to this developer. I don't know, all approved. And so this is a quick shout out to all my tree hugger buddies out there, from Brian Hawley to Mike Oxendine, and all of those in between. The wolves are circling that 200-year-old cottonwood tree again, so some cowardly arborist may declare it deadly for babies and kittens, so stay tuned to that. And then, Affordable Housing Trust Fund. The mayor kicked this off with their usual flair of not making any sense. Said, words, ideas, the fund is new ideas, affordability, expansions, limitations. Any questions? And I think she wants to change the Housing Trust Fund resolution to make the money available for 8 different things instead of just the 2 things it can be now. I think that's what this resolution is. And the city housing lady, Linda Reed, there's a Wonder Woman. I said, since 2018, we've been doing this, and we don't always get applications for new housing. And this has historically been just for new affordable housing. And planning guy Brandon Goldman goes, he's the guru there at the planning department. He goes, if we don't pay out money some years, that's good, because we just roll it over, and then we can pay for a bigger project in the future. So it works out. We don't have to give it all away. And then there's public forum on that, and then the ball cap lady said, I like this resolution, whatever it is. And then the Sunstone lady said, this trust fund helped us in 2024. So should you like this resolution or not? I don't know. And then this guy goes, I move to let the city put out requests for the Housing Trust Fund, which I thought we did that every year anyway without a special discussion like that. So then this guy jumps in and goes, did you want to focus only on house building and capacity increasing, right? And he went, oh yeah, I do. Yeah. He goes, well, I amend your thing to say that thing. And he goes, oh yeah, that's good idea. And that was all approved. And that's the end of the meeting. You're welcome. Oh! Next week, Pioneer Hall, or the front of it.